listening to Reality Wrap. I'm your host, Melanie. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Reality Wrap. Tonight we are going to be recapping last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13, Episode 10. But I have to say, I am still on a high from watching Salt Lake City. It's
like I haven't left.
I know. Sean and I had even contemplated about doing a second episode about Salt Lake City, only because of all the stuff that keeps coming out.
I think we're going to do it, team. I think I'm going to get her to do it.
So apparently sometime last night after we had finished recording our episode, I woke up this morning and of course I jumped on Instagram and there was a video that had been leaked out or put out. I guess Tanisha put it out.
Yeah.
Although she has since come out and said it wasn't her that leaked this video, that Monica sent this video to multiple people.
Well, and she doesn't want to be famous.
Right. But she does have a folder on her.
She does have a folder.
But anyways.
But no agenda.
It was a video of LD Millionaire, Monica's mom, and Monica fighting. And it was right after the fight with at Easter when she went and she was like trying to like intervene between Monica and Angie. And she was like, what did you do that for? You know, you made me look so stupid. And her mom was just like, this is a show. You're acting. Your job is to get along with these women and not go against them. Anyways, it was super toxic watching this. They were screaming at each other. Sadly, it seemed like the kids were in the room. We saw the older daughter like walk through the room.
There's a grandmother.
The grandmother was there. I'm assuming the little kids were there.
There's a lot of dysfunction.
It's
super... And remember, the grandmother did the same thing to LD.
Well, we've never seen it.
Well, that's the claim.
Oh, right.
And they seem to both agree.
But what's also is really kind of fucked up is that Monica's like recording her mom. Yes, I mean her mom is like a complete
I think she's recording
monster.
her mom because she has no other recourse. She has to prove that her mom's like this. Now, unfortunately,
to who? She sent it to her. She sent it to her friend.
I think that's what she felt. She had to feel like she felt like she needed that vindication.
I don't know. I mean, some things are like between you and your parents.
But my guess is she was talked to Tanisha when they were friends, and she was like, I don't believe it. She was like, really? Watch this?
No, because Tanisha did put on her Instagram.
Because aren't they all about bringing the receipts? Well, I'll show it to you. You know what I mean?
No, Tanisha did put out on her Instagram, like, I fully, wholeheartedly saw Linda treat Monica badly, and I stand by that. So she did put that on her Instagram. So I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll just say this.
It's just every day there's like something new. I love
Salt Lake City, but if those ladies think they're kicking Monica off, I would actually rather watch the show about Monica, Tanisha, and the assistants.
And the mom.
And the mom. That's far more interesting to try to watch that cobbled together than, I mean, I like they're not
Whitney and her pretend marriage problems.
Yeah, Whitney and her pretend marriage problems. And I mean,
exploited vagina.
I like the other ladies. They're fine, but that's just it. They're fine, right? You need that crazy. You need that awesome, crazy person that is in the show. Who's the one on OC that we love? Vicky.
Which one?
Vicky. Love Vicky. Right?
A lot of those girls, well, but she's not sneaky like that. Monica's definitely sneaky.
Vicky was totally sneaky.
Not
she
like
lied
that.
about cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Ding.
Oh, my God.
She was the queen. And then after Vicky is the one that's there now. I forgot. She's the fitness lady. What's her name? I like her, actually.
Tamara?
Yeah, Tamara.
Oh, yeah, but
you seem to have a problem with her. I don't know.
I find her annoying. Actually, I like her off of the show. Like, when she's not on OC, like, I like to listen to her podcast. She seems like a pretty normal person, but then, like, on Orange County, she definitely is playing, like, a crazy person. She also says she doesn't drink normally, and she drinks when she's on the show. And that, like, sends her into this spiral.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I guess we should probably get back to the focus at hand.
Oh, yes.
Back to Beverly Hills.
Let's jump on in.
I know this came out a couple of weeks ago, but there was some videos going around of Mauricio with some young girls. I guess they're not girls, they're women. One was a singer. I guess she's like in her 20s, and he was at the bar. He didn't have a shirt on. The girl was like twerking up on a table. He was spraying champagne on her. I was like, it was so cringy for a guy who's like 55 years old to be like spraying champagne on a young girl with his shirt off. Like, that girl is probably his daughter's age.
It was a moment of ego for him.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, him and Kyle have
I still do it?
Yeah.
Just like I said before, and you've said before, it is interesting that Kyle is falling around a 20-year-old.
I guess Morgan is 30 or 29 or something.
Okay, someone in their early 30s, right?
I can still do it. She still has her clothes on, though. It was cringy. I'm sorry.
But she's getting she got a tattoo about that girl on her body.
Yeah,
didn't
letter.
she?
I think.
Well, that's
No,
just
no,
about as
she
cringy
didn't.
as taking a shirt off
No,
at a
she
bar.
tattooed her initial on the girl. Her tattoo was of like Saturn or something.
That's
like
take a shirt off at a bar, creepy at least.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a push.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, right? I think they're both going through midlives.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I think they're both going through a divorce at the same time. Way to go, guys. You know what I mean? Wow, you're piling it on.
Yeah.
So as I look at both of them, they're fine.
Well, I just after seeing, then he was like with some influencers, and he was skiing with them, and they were really young.
I mean, Kyle deserves better. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry if you don't agree. I think Kyle deserves better from a husband.
Well, I mean, if we look at Mauricio over the course of their marriage, all the rumors that came out, the stuff that was in the tabloids about him cheating.
He's not certainly...
No.
Yeah.
But Kyle's also...
He's not representing us well. And I'll leave it at that.
Anyway, so that came out. We also got a thing that Tom Girardi has been deemed competent to stand trial. And so he's going to be going to trial pretty soon. I was listening to somebody, it was Emily from the Real Housewives of Orange County on the 2Ts podcast. And she was saying normally when they finally deem somebody competent to stand trial, the trial happens very quickly because now you're kind of under this thing of like, okay, he could be competent now, but like...
You're in a bubble.
It's like in a time... Yeah, you're on a time crunch. And so she's expecting it to happen pretty quickly. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting insight. I guess she is a lawyer, so she would kind of know what that's about. So anyways, those are things that have come out recently with Beverly Hills. One thing I did notice about this episode is there was no Anne Marie. And on the after shows that they post on YouTube, everybody's in a pair, except for Anne Marie. She's all by herself. I was like, man, I think Anne Marie is a one and done.
They iced her out, yeah.
Big time. For whatever reason. I'm not really sure what happened. I don't know. Maybe it'll come out later in the season, but she's definitely on an island. She does come back next episode, it looks like, and she's talking about esophagus again. And
I can understand why they got rid of her at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
She's like, I'm going to be inappropriate with your health information, and that's my story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
And she also had a comment about, she was talking about Sutton on the after show. I listened to like about a minute of it. I turned it off. And I was like, you don't even really know this woman that well. You
Sutton
literally
wasn't even
brand
there
new.
when she was talking about the esophagus.
She was talking about...
Wait, how dare you talk about someone's...
Yeah, it was totally inappropriate. But in the... I
made this face.
That was a look of...
There's a booger on my knee.
Gross.
Exactly. That was the face.
That was the face. I would probably be like, if there's a booger on my knee.
Look, I get it.
Steph would come out there.
She's a Stepford wife or something, because anyone that lets her husband talk to her like that, she's bragging about it.
Yeah, I know. My husband
you didn't even need to bring that up.
8.5.
We looked him up. We knew he was a douchebag. You didn't need to confirm it with that rating system he gave you.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, let's go ahead and jump into the recap. So we start this episode. We're still at Taco Tuesday. Denise has decided that she is going to confront Erika again about talking about the threesomes in front of Denise's children. Erika's asking Denise, who makes more money on OnlyFans, you or Sammy? Which... was so good.
Gotta love it.
I'm sorry, but it was so good. Garcelle says to Denise, what are you looking for from Erika? And Denise is like, I would like to know what I did to Erika that made her do what she did to my kids. And I was kind of like, what exactly? Other than her like saying, any 14-year-old now with an iPhone knows what a threesome is. Like that, like... It wasn't like she did something directly.
No, and at this point, I'm
kids.
imagining her sitting on the cab ride on the way out, thinking to herself, "I need a story. I need a story.
I don't know what she's thinking.
I think what this is she needs a story, so they keep bringing her back. That's the only reason why they're asking her back is because she's causing trouble. I love her. Give her own show. She'd be great to watch.
I mean, she's funny in certain things. Like this, I was like,
yeah, this is a bit much. I was kind of like, man, I don't think I could watch a whole show of this.
Erika tells her it wasn't about the kids. We were all talking about threesomes and sex and all that at your barbecue. And Denise says, well, not all of us. And Erika's like, you were talking about Aaron's big dick at the table. And Denise is like, no, I wasn't. But luckily for us, we get the video clip of her saying and talking about Aaron's big dick and his big muscles. Denise tells her, no, you're wrong. And Erika's like, well, I'm right. And after the barbecue, you singled me out for talking about threesomes in front of the kids, and I apologize to you. Erika then tells Denise, I have nothing left to say. And honestly, at this point, Denise really does not have a leg to stand on. Erika was correct. We saw the video. We all watched the episode. They were all talking about sex in front of the kids. And actually, on the after show, somebody said, who was the one who brought up threesomes? And it ended up being Garcelle. And they showed the clip of Garcelle saying, like, I kissed a girl or something like that at one point. So they all were talking about it. But Denise, for some reason, did single Erika. I think it was because of what she said. Like, you know, every 14-year-old kid with an iPhone knows what a threesome is if they haven't had one already. She didn't say Denise's kids. She just said every 14-year-old. So whatever. Anyways, Erika tells Denise she didn't want this fight. And Denise is like, yeah, you did. You wanted to take the attention off the other things. You're deflecting. And Erika's like, no, we haven't deflected at all the last couple of years. Denise is like, oh, really? You didn't know there was $20 million deposited into your account? And Erika's like, well, actually it wasn't. And the government has already proven that. So you're late on that. I was like, oh, Denise.
Yeah,
I mean, she was
in my mind, I heard womp, 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 womp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denise tells her that she hits below the belt, and Erika just gets up and she's like, fuck off. I've had enough.
It was like watching a college student walk away from a kindergartner trying to fight him.
Yeah, I'm like...
I'm not doing
I
this.
feel like Erika was actually being nice by just getting up and saying she's had it, because we all know that she could have annihilated
Right, hey,
Denise.
look, before you get hurt, I'm going to walk
exactly.
away.
Yeah. It would have been like watching a lion fight a kitten.
Yeah.
And I think Erika was being nice. So she just ended it.
Or
I was
Erika fighting someone who is probably not sober.
Yeah, or
Just
smart.
Or quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
we could
clever.
maybe
Lot
throw
of-
the word smart in there.
Lot of words we could use.
So she walks off. And Kim's like, I think Kim actually was the one that interrupted it. She was like, well, I'm going to go. She gets up.
You know, and a couple episodes, I'm like, I love her. She should have her own show. I love her. But I think she's more like Kramer from Friends or Jim from
You mean
Taxi.
Kramer from Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Not
Kramer
Friends.
from Seinfeld or Jim from Taxi.
She's kind of like Jim.
She's
that's perfect. Jim
crazy
from
motherfucker
Taxi.
that rambles into the scene, fucks it all up, and
Nobody
rambles
knows what
on
they're
out.
talking
What the hell
about.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
And we love him for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kyle at this point says that she feels like families and children should be off limits. And Garcelle and Denise are like, well, why didn't you say that when Erika was in here? And Kyle's like, I was letting you guys talk it out. Why didn't you guys stand up for me the other night about the ring and Mo cheating? And I was like, oh, of course. Like, Kyle's got to play the victim always. Garcelle tells us in her talking head, well, I didn't speak up about the ring because I found it odd as well. And Kyle has changed her whole lifestyle, and it's weird, which I don't know why somebody changing their lifestyle to be like healthier, like not drinking, eating better, and working out is considered weird.
So now we have Sutton, who I thought initially was the one that thought the change was weird.
She was definitely focused in on the change for sure.
And now Garcelle is making
she
less
said
than
it was
positive
weird.
less than positive comments about the situation. So with Sutton is to me, I thought it was kind of easy why, we always kind of joke that Sutton drinks a little. So if Kyle's sitting there saying how great life is now that she's not drinking, that's going to affect Sutton negatively. With Garcelle, I don't know why, because Garcelle's...
I think because Garcelle is saying that the lifestyle change is weird, but what she's really saying is, I think the shit going on with Morgan is weird.
Yeah, like is she implying that she quit drinking for Morgan?
Well, Morgan is sober.
Right, exactly.
Also...
Morgan gets upset when Kyle even talks about substances. Remember the marijuana
when they were
potty?
getting
She got upset.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. But I mean, it seems to be helping her. I mean, don't forget, her best friend had just killed herself. I mean, alcohol would absolutely amplify your feelings of sadness. Mm-hmm. Over your friend who just killed herself. Plus, she has all the stuff going on with Mo, which is probably very emotional. They've been married for like almost 30 years. And so they have a marriage that's coming to an end. So drinking would absolutely amplify her emotions.
Right. And her emotional plate continue on that. It's full.
Right.
And it's no good emotion.
And she's fighting with Kathy.
And it's not like this plate has like lasagna and bread and everything's delicious, right? It's crap. Right?
Yeah.
She's eating a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
A lot of this. And so I think, honestly,
working out,
regardless of what anyone thinks,
working
for
out
her
and
to
not
work
drinking,
out and not drink is the
positive.
absolute best thing you could do.
I agree. It's a good outlet.
Do not give a crap what anyone thinks.
No.
Right? Absolutely right now. Keep your body healthy so that your mind can be healthy.
Right. So we're now with Erika and Dorit, and they're over at Dorit's house. Dorit asks Erika what happened after she left, and Erika tells her about Denise. And in her talking head, she's like, Denise wanted this fight. She picked the fight, so I gave it to her. And then she called me evil. And then Erika calls her dumb. Again, I think Erika could have gone scorched Erika on Denise, but she didn't because she knew it was no match.
It's like
she
when,
just let it go.
Like the shorter person's trying to fight the really tall person,
yeah,
and all the really tall person has to do is put their hand on the other person's head, and they cannot swing or touch you anymore.
Swinging at nothing.
Yeah,
My brothers used to do that shit to me when I was little. There you go,
know.
right?
Exactly.
There you go. So Erika asks her about what happened between Dorit and Garcelle, because I guess she was in the kitchen when it kind of started, and so like she didn't get the whole situation. Yeah. Dorit tells her, I'm still processing what happened before I approach Garcelle. And in her talking head, Dorit tells us that she was not trying to trigger or upset Garcelle, and now she has to figure out the best way to approach her. And in the after show, some of the ladies seem to agree that they did not think Dorit used the word attacked on purpose. And I have to say, I also don't think she used it on purpose, like she was trying to hurt Garcelle. I think Dorit is ignorant. And I think she doesn't think like, hey, while I'm talking, this possibly could offend the person I'm talking to. And I'm sure we all have people in our lives that are like that, who just are obtuse and oblivious to the world, and they just fucking say whatever they want, and they don't think like, hey,
there's
wow,
no filter.
No.
Right? And they don't mean, they may or may not mean anything by it, but
Yeah.
I don't think with Dorito she means anything by it.
No. I even as of recently as yesterday had somebody saying shit to me over text, and I was just like, this is so offensive. Like, I can't believe you don't sense my tone right now that I am irritated with you.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, Sean thought it was funny. He's like, slap her down.
I know, I had all kinds of comebacks for her.
No, it's just like, no. Anyway, over at Sutton's house, her overly enthusiastic matchmaker comes over. I'm like, oh my God, this lady is like on a 10 when it comes to enthusiasm. I'm like,
she should actually
girl,
just wear
you
a
need
t-shirt.
to like calm it down a little bit.
I actually think, as I was seeing that, I was like, I wonder if she owns a t-shirt that says, please give me a TV show. That's kind of what I thought.
You think she's playing it up for the...
Yeah, she's on camera. She hammed it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's probably using it to her advantage, I mean,
you
always be working,
show, get more... Yeah, I applaud her for it. I honestly would have worn a t-shirt that said,
you would have
please
never
give
been
me
that
a TV show.
enthusiastic, though.
No, I would have done it my own way with style and panache. Like I said, a t-shirt that says it all.
Yeah, okay. So she tells Sutton that Sal had good feedback about the date. And it's funny, like Sutton's face was kind of like, really? Because it didn't seem to go really well. So she reads the feedback that Sal gave her, and she's like, after reading Sal's feedback, I feel like he thought you weren't really interested in him. And I was like, well, duh. She's like, we're done, let's go. I mean, it was so evident she wasn't interested in him. The matchmaker gives her some tips for her to use on her next date, which has been set up, and she shows her date number 2. Over at Kyle's house, Kim comes over, and Kyle's wearing a hummingbird necklace, and Kim's like, what is this necklace you're wearing? She's like, oh, it's a hummingbird. And Kyle tells us, and I'm pretty sure she's told us this before, that after her mom died, she has always had a lot of weird interactions with hummingbirds, and how after the big fight long time ago where Kim was yelling about stealing her goddamn house, that she said a hummingbird laying on the ground in her kitchen, and I was like, so was it dead or was it just laying there? I was like,
your cat could have done that.
I'm like, hummingbirds don't just lay on the floor. They're usually
that's not magic. That's kitties
dead. And to her, that was a sign from her mom. And I'm like, yeah, of course, Big Kath would kill a hummingbird. Because that mama, woo.
You make a joke, but...
Oh, yeah, no, I believe that her mom was sending messages. I totally believe in that, but I don't think it
was a dead bird on your floor, though.
Big Kathy was not a nice person.
We've had a cardinal visiting us for years now.
Yes. As a matter of fact, when my mom...
In weird places, too. Like, remember we saw the one in Texas at the campsite.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was one of the first ones we saw.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Oh, also when I was in,
what the hell is
where
this?
did I just go over the summer? A red cardinal flew right above my head and landed on a branch.
Yeah, so.
Where was I?
You were in America.
No, what was the park? Zion.
Zion.
Also, after my mom died, within a day or two, I had a bird that was tapping on the window in the room I was in and like looking through the window, and it was like,
Yeah.
and I was totally like, oh, that's my mom. So
Yeah.
I totally understand the bird thing, and
I
I'm
do
sure
too.
some people will think I'm kookadoos, but
Who cares?
whatever. So anyway, Kim and Kyle are talking about Whitney's wedding, and Kim asks Kyle who she's going to bring to the wedding. And Kyle's like, oh, why are you asking me that? And she's like, well, I don't want people there who aren't in a good place. And obviously she's talking about Kathy and Kyle. And Kyle's like, I'll always be polite to her, but obviously you don't know the whole story. I haven't told you my side of the story. Kyle tells us in her talking head that after Kathy's behavior at the reunion, if Kathy would have reached out to her and had taken accountability for mistreating Kyle, she would have made up with her. I mean, after watching Paris in Love, Kathy Hilton is a monster. So,
You know, you say that, but
dude, you didn't watch it.
I just wonder if there's any value in someone just walking up to Kathy, giving her a hug, and saying, there's no need for little Kathy to behave like big Kathy.
Yeah, I mean,
to your point, she's a monster, but sometimes monsters need hugs too. And I think, I know, but
what the fuck is that?
I know. Well, I got you laughing at least, but no, in all seriousness,
Monsters need hugs. That might be one of the silliest things you've ever said.
Silly or not, I find that when the world is coming down on someone like a lot of the world does on Kathy, maybe sometimes just walk up and give them
I mean,
a hug.
nobody comes down on Kathy because she's Kathy fucking Hilton, and she's very well known in the Beverly Hills social scene.
Who cares?
Yeah, me and you don't care, but
Yeah.
the people in Beverly Hills care. Why do you think everybody kisses her ass when she's a known monster? Except for Erika and Lisa Rinna. I don't know. Anyways,
Whatever.
not that Kyle is some saint. I mean, we've seen Kyle treat Kim really bad in the years. Almost the same way that Kathy treats Kyle.
Unfortunately, Kim's everyone's punching bag. it seems.
Man, I know. I feel bad for Kim.
Kim is like the tragic story. And yeah, see, I guess if someone really needs a hug, it's old Kimbo there.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, just with,
I would give her the first hug.
you know, like her mom
Yeah.
wanted her girls to be so successful, and you know her mom pushed her, and
Psycho.
her mom took Kyle when she was like what 12 or 10 to Studio 54. Like that was Big Kathy's mentality. Like she was like fucked up. And not only that, in that book, whatever, the Hilton book, they talked about how when Big Kath hooked up with Kyle's dad, whatever his name was, whatever Richards, Keith Richards. No, wait, Keith Richards is isn't he in a band or something?
Yeah.
From what band?
Why don't you think about
I
it
don't
for a
know.
second?
Just tell me.
The Roll.
Oh, yeah, the Rolling Stones.
There we go.
Anyway, Ken Richards, I think his name was.
Yeah. I say that because
he
that's
was-
like one of your favorite bands.
I know. He
It's
was married
terrible.
at the time, and she did something to the ex-wife, slammed her ankle in a door. I don't know.
Damn.
Big Kathy was a fucking monster. And I feel like she might have turned a blind eye to things that happened to Kim in Hollywood.
She's probably physically abusive to the girls, would you say?
Possibly, but I think...
If she's slamming ankles and doors.
You know, especially in light of what has been coming out that goes on in Hollywood, I wouldn't doubt it if Kim was subjected to that, you know, back in that time, back in the 70s, and she had a stage mom who probably was okay with whatever was happening. Obviously, I am just completely speculating here, but
All
it would
speculation, but I can
explain
say this, it
her
doesn't look like-
addiction problems and things like that, and like some of her weird kookiness.
I think we can say that Big Kathy was not in it for her daughters, right?
Well, she says it was all for them. In
No,
fact,
she was living vicariously through her children like all stage parents do.
yeah, not
Nikki
all of them. Some of them
Schroeder,
are good.
Corey's, all their parents.
Yeah, the Coreys is
Yeah.
bad.
And these stage parents like that. It's no bueno.
Anyway, Kyle tells Kim that Kathy is mean and she can't just have a conversation like they are without being mean. And Kyle tells us in her talking head that growing up there was a lot of chaos around her and that her mom was great, but she did have a temper. Kyle is kind of like letting us in a little bit when it comes to that.
Yeah. So, really quick, so the point on Ricky Schroeder actually was the opposite. So his parents took his money and they bought like Taco Bells and they did other stuff, and it was all his. They're the antithesis of like the Kathy Hill.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Not all stage moms.
There were good stage parents.
Well, thank you for clarifying Ricky Schroeder.
Well, the way I said it initially,
that it was
I
a
loved
bad
his
thing.
parents,
Yeah,
and and I was like, wait a minute,
you better
finish
clarify.
the point.
Yeah. So Kim tells her, you know, if you don't try with Kathy, how's it going to be the rest of your life? And Kyle's like, well, why doesn't Kathy try with me? She's the one who created the problem. Kim tells Kyle, you know, our mom never wanted stuff like this. She always wanted us to stick together. And now more than ever, she understands her mom and how her mom gave up her whole life for them. And while she had some resentments towards her mom, which is what I think she resented her mom for some of the stuff like I was talking about, she understands what her mom was meaning. Like, people can come and go, friends can come and go, but family is always there.
Even if it wasn't like nefarious to that level, there was certainly sleep deprivation, drugs they used to push kids on. I mean, Judy Garland was addicted to drugs because of the work hours she had to work, and that's what, you know, put her in that state.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really fixed in the 70s.
No, and that was kind of when Kim was around 70s and 80s.
I know I would be.
Anyway, so then Kim really starts to cry, and she's talking about how much she loved her mom. And I was like, wow, like, mom is definitely coming up a lot. And I feel like Kim, Kyle, and Kathy should have like a therapy with the three of them, maybe over things that happened. But Kathy Hilton will never do it. She won't even go to therapy with her own daughter, so she's not going to go with her sisters.
I would so watch that.
No, I don't think it should be on TV. I really think like a lot of their underlying issues is from Big Kathy being their mother. So. Oh,
you mean like? Yes.
Like 100%. They should go to.
They should go off to a retreat.
Right.
Privately.
Do therapy. Yeah. Anyway, Kim tells Kyle again that she has to let Kathy back in, which we know now. In fact, she talked about it in the after show that her and Kathy are good, so they've made up. We're now over at Crystal's, and her family is celebrating Sadar. Is that how you say it? I think that's how she said it, which I guess is something to do around Easter time in the Jewish religion. Obviously, I'm not Jewish because I have no idea what it means. After dinner, Crystal tells Rob that after Taco Tuesday, the ladies have told her that she doesn't engage enough and that she doesn't really speak up enough. And then we see a clip of her saying, like, why do you ladies always want me to yell? And she's yelling. He tells her, you know, you have a lot of opinions. You should really start sharing them. And she's like, well, sometimes it's really hard to pay attention to when they're talking because they're also skinny now. And because of my eating disorder, or she doesn't say that, but obviously her eating disorder, she's sitting there comparing her body to theirs. And she's like, you know, it's very distracting, and
really?
I feel very self-conscious. That's what she said, yeah.
Look, I don't want to be a pig, but I thought Crystal had like an amazing body. What are you talking about?
You should see her in the after show. Her face is beautiful. Like the way whoever did her makeup and everything.
That's fine, but
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You could be, that's the problem with an eating disorder you could be.
We all learn from Karen Carpenter.
90 pounds, and you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing.
It's that self-image.
Yeah, and so I get what she's saying. So then she starts talking about her brother and how she feels like her brother resents her for the breakup still with his fiance when she made him come home during COVID. And I'm like, okay, that's, you know, your brother is an adult. He's like 40, so he could have said no, but whatever.
Here's the thing I see about Crystal. I like Crystal. Everyone seems to like Crystal. Like, the girls seem to like Crystal. Yeah. She doesn't seem to have any enemies, and I think that's the problem.
Well, she's too quiet.
When her story last night was the fact that the other ladies were coaching her to speak up more.
Yeah.
It's to keep her on the show.
It could be.
Yeah.
They're like, you better get into the game.
You better get into this or you're out. And they don't want her out. I think everyone genuinely likes her.
Yeah.
She's like everyone's swimming in the pool, and she hasn't quite jumped in yet. You know, she knows she can swim, but for whatever reason, she's on the side, and she just hasn't jumped in, and she needs to jump in the damn pool.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're now with Sutton on her date with Steve, who seems like a way better match than Sale. Oh. He's good looking. He's engaging. Yep. He doesn't talk about his mom. So they find out they both like crime podcasts. So they finish their date, and he's like, I really want to keep talking to you. Can, I have your phone number? And so she gives him her phone number, and she also talks in her talking head, or not her talking head, in the after show that she got another date with him.
So,
which I don't know if that's going to play out on the show. I'm assuming it will, but
I hope so.
I hope so too. He definitely seemed like a nice guy. So
here's the thing, I really liked the date. I thought it was a great exchange.
She took that girl's coaching.
When she initially said the thing about the hair, I started shaking my head and like, oh, she's gonna tank it again. But then when it went to her talking head, you could see how upset she was with herself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she gives a shit. And then she nailed the date.
Yeah.
So
obviously, because he wanted to talk to her.
Yeah. And she looked great. I thought she was charming.
Yeah.
It's good to see like that things happening. I want her to be happy.
Yeah.
I just hope, but as I said last night, I just hope he's good enough for her. You know what I mean? Who is this guy?
Yeah. Well, it sounded like he was an actor, because didn't he say he played a dead person at one point?
Yeah, we should go look that up.
Yeah, he must have been an actor.
Well
they do live in...
And then she was like, well, that must have been easy or something like that.
I forgot what she said.
Yeah, it was funny. I think she blew him shit.
Yeah. So we now go to lunch with Dorit and Garcelle. It was super awkward. Dorit hears out Garcelle, and she kind of apologizes. But then, in typical Dorit fashion... She just doesn't say, I'm sorry, and end it there. She starts trying to defend herself. Garcelle calls her a Karen. Dorit brings up how she's Jewish. Like, somehow that relates to what Garcelle is talking about. She kind of tried to pull in, we're both from marginalized groups, but still didn't really tie in with the fact that she had triggered her by using this word. Anyways, it seemed like after the lunch, they're going to be fine. And even in the clip for next week's episode, Garcelle was in the car with Sutton, and she was telling her that her and Dorit were going to be fine. So hopefully Dorit has learned from this incident, and she knows now to maybe think before her verbal diarrhea comes out.
Before Dorit, I think, Garcelle ending it was great. The way she did that.
She just decided to move on.
Yeah. She accepted it for what it was, accepted the apology, moved on. Great. And then I think, initially I was like, but then immediately right after that, we see Dorit's talking head, and I was really happy.
She did. She seemed to, and she did also in the after show. She was like,
both
obviously,
these girls could become like good friends now, and I think they understand each other a little better. And I think Dorit's going to try to improve and to try. She's acknowledging where she's like offending people.
Yeah.
And if she's going to have a relationship with this person, she's going to try not to offend her.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only a good thing. I loved it.
Anyway, so next week's episode looks like they go to Ojai. I think that's how you said it, or they said it, for, what's the new girl's name? I forgot her name. Anne-Marie?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not in this season at all. Anne-Marie's birthday, and we see her bring up Sutton's esophagus again. And
we've had more sightings of the Loch Ness Monster at this point.
Than Anne-Marie. Yeah, honestly. She wasn't in this episode at all. Like, we didn't get family life, nothing. Like,
but every moment of camera time so far is really
It's good. Not been positive. Yeah. The only time it was good was when she was playing pickleball with Kyle. But even then, she was like kind of saying, well, that doesn't sound right, when she was talking about
There's been no great camera time.
No.
She's no Monica.
No. Yeah.
Like Monica, no. Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
MVP 2022.
Well, Monica's, she's got some issues too. So.
But as far as viewership.
Oh, yeah.
She's the MVP.
She was the season, yeah.
And Rookie of the Year, in my opinion.
Anyways, that's all we have for you guys this week. So we will be next week. I believe Potomac comes back next Sunday, so I'll be recapping that on Monday. I'm really hoping that picks up, because if it doesn't, I'm probably just going to switch over to Vanderpump Rules when that comes out on the 30th. So we will talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye now.